If you're like me, you like zombie movies. They are at the intersection of popular culture and horror, making us question our humanity and what lengths we'd be willing to go through to survive the infection. Many zombie movies have been released over the decades, probably totaling into the thousands. Some are smash-worthy, others are pass-worthy. Today, let's take a look at some zombie flicks that are must-watch. Zombieland, 2009. This offering stars Abigail Breslin, who was just featured in our review of Maggie, Emma Stone, Jesse Eisenberg, and Woody Harrelson, including a cameo from the one and only Bill Murray. This movie gets props right off the get-go as it has one of the most iconic intros. For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica plays while slow-motion zombies wreak havoc. I mean, it doesn't get much more epic than that. Survivors in this movie take the alias of the city they come from. Tallahassee is played by Harrelson's character, Columbus is played by Eisenberg, Wichita by Stone, and Little Rock by Breslin. When released, Zombieland became the highest-grossing zombie movie in the U.S. until the release of World War Z. A strain of mad cow disease is the catalyst for infection in this film. We are then introduced to Columbus, who has his own unique set of survival rules for the apocalypse. He is trying to return home to Columbus, Ohio from his dorm in Austin, Texas. On his way, he meets Tallahassee, who agrees to give him a ride. Upon first meeting, Tallahassee tells Columbus that he misses his puppy Buck, who was killed by zombies. Soon the pair run into sisters Little Rock and Wichita. Little Rock feigns being bitten by a zombie, and without too much trouble, the sisters end up stealing the truck and weapons of the two men. Thank God for rednecks, though, as the two men soon find a yellow Hummer fully stocked with weapons. History soon repeats itself, and the sisters trick the men again and take them hostage. After some uneasiness, the foursome finally decide it would be better to work together instead of against each other. This is where we learn the sisters' intention to make it to Pacific Playland, an amusement park located in Los Angeles, California. It reminds them of a simpler time before the zombie outbreak, and they tell themselves it's zombie-free. As they reach Hollywood, we are treated to more comedic relief as Tallahassee takes them to Bill Murray's mansion. Once there, some California kind is ingested, and two of the characters play out scenes from Ghostbusters, as the other two watch Ghostbusters in the home theater because Little Rock had never seen it. Unfortunately, Bill Murray's role is shortly ended, and he is sent off with a salute. This whole scene is gold, and it shows how the movie blends horror and comedy together seamlessly. We also learn that this whole time Tallahassee has such a bitter hatred for zombies, not because they killed his puppy, but his son named Buck. The girls once again take off, and Tallahassee and Columbus track them down at Pacific Playland. The ending is action-packed. It has all four characters fighting it out amongst carnival rides. Eventually, the girls are saved, and Columbus gets to achieve his dream of brushing Wichita's hair behind her ear as he goes in for a kiss. Zombieland Double Tap, 2019. A decade after the original Zombieland was released, this highly anticipated sequel hit the big screens. All four main characters make their return in Double Tap. This movie brings it again with the intro, as Metallica's Master of Puppets gets us amped up for the action that's about to take place. This film introduces us to new strains of zombies such as Homers, slow and dumb, Hawkings, partially intelligent, and ninjas, silent but deadly. Surprise, surprise, the movie opens with the girls leaving once again, this time as Little Rock searches for a boyfriend. While searching for the pair, Tallahassee and Columbus find Madison, a survivor who has been hiding in a Pinkberry store within a mall. Columbus and Madison end up hooking up in the White House, ultimately discovered by Wichita, who informs everyone Little Rock has run off to Graceland with Berkeley, a mysterious hippie. On the journey, the group encounters another hybrid zombie known as a T-800, which takes several shots to the head before it can be defeated. Madison is scratched by a zombie, and Columbus takes her in the woods to put her down. As the group makes their way to Graceland, we are introduced to some new characters and learn that Little Rock has followed Berkeley to a hippie commune known as Babylon. As the journey continues, we see Madison driving an ice cream truck also headed to Babylon. We learn her symptoms were not caused by the infection, but rather a bad reaction caused by her nut allergy. We also find out Columbus could not go through with killing her and instead led her into the woods, shot above her head, and allowed her to live. Once we finally make it to Babylon, there isn't a lot of time to celebrate as Tallahassee notices a horde of T-800s headed for the commune, and he devises a plan to take them out. The whole movie is worthwhile to watch, but the action leading up to the ending is probably the best part of this movie. Once these crazy escapades are over and the threat has been handled, we see Madison and Berkeley become a couple, as well as Tallahassee and a character named Nevada. Columbus, after cashing in his hall pass, proposes to Wichita and she accepts. The original 4 characters in Nevada then leave Babylon. Stick around for the credits on this one as we get to see some funny outtakes with Bill Murray. Warm Bodies, 2013. This movie takes a unique spin on the zombie genre and may not be everyone's cup of tea, but it is definitely worth a watch. This movie stars Nicholas Hoult as R and Teresa Palmer as Julie. This movie is shown through the zombies' point of view, and this film humanizes zombies more than just about any other film. Based on the 2010 novel of the same name, which in turn was inspired by Romeo and Juliet. We start off following R as he lives in an airport. He has a friend named M, and the two try to communicate with basic grunts and sounds. R does not have a heartbeat and craves brains. Having the insight of a zombie, we learn the meaning of craving brains is because when they feast on them, they feel alive through experiencing the victim's memories. So I guess brain food is brain food. Makes sense. Next, we meet Julie, whose father runs a walled-off sanctuary. She and a group of survivors leave the compound to find medical supplies. R sees Julie and is drawn to her. His heart beats for the first time since becoming a zombie. Julie's boyfriend Perry shoots R in the chest. However, R is able to kill Perry and feast on his brain. His memories heighten the attraction he already has for Julie. Soon, Julie is in trouble, and R comes to the rescue by rubbing zombie blood on her face, masking her scent, and takes her to the airplane he resides in to keep her safe. The next bit of this movie focuses on the two bonding over music and games, as R begins to feel more human and even begins to communicate better with an expanding vocabulary. R decides he will return to the compound with Julie. On the way, he reveals that he killed Perry, Julie's recently deceased boyfriend, and this news does not sit well with her, prompting her to abandon R. As he heads back to the airport heartbroken, he notices his zombie brethren are also changing, becoming more human. But we are also introduced to bonies, skeletal zombies who have lost all their humanity and exist only to feed on the living. As these bonies are headed for the compound, R and his friend M decide to make it to the compound to warn the inhabitants. Julie tries to convince her father of the changes that are happening with these zombies and how they could coexist, but he doesn't want to hear it. R and Julie escape to a baseball stadium where the other zombies are waiting, only to find them battling the bonies. R and Julie take turns saving each other. Soon, Julie's father arrives on scene and shoots R in the shoulder. Noticing that the wound is now bleeding, we learn that he has fully changed back to being human. The zombies and humans join forces to defeat the bonies. The other zombies slowly come back to life like R and assimilate into human society. The end scene is with R and Julie watching the wall surrounding the compound be demolished, symbolizing the end of the apocalypse. I enjoyed this movie, but I'm curious what you think of this one. Half action, half romance, seen through the eyes of a zombie. Hard to box this one into a specific category, but that, coupled with its uniqueness, is what sets it apart and makes it a very original movie. The Dead Don't Die, 2019. This zombie comedy has a crazy ensemble cast including Bill Murray, Adam Driver, Chloe Sevigny, Steve Buscemi, Danny Glover, Iggy Pop, Selena Gomez, and more. I was very excited for the release of this movie, but it didn't bring in much at the box office, and reviews for this one are mixed. In this movie, we follow a small town police department as they are faced with zombies invading their town. Strange occurrences start to take place, like extended periods of daylight, watches stopping, and cell phones no longer working. Next, we hear a radio announcement concerning polar fracking. As night falls, 2 zombies reanimate and kill 2 diner employees who are discovered the next morning. Ronnie, played by Driver, theorizes this must be the work of zombies. We also learn that polar fracking has altered the Earth's rotation. Next, animals in the town begin to disappear. Soon, more zombies start to rise from their graves. Cliff, played by Murray, and Ronnie make it to the police station and inform Mindy, played by Savigny, about the zombies. The rest of the movie follows the officers as they travel to town and try to dispatch the zombies. As the battles ensue, we learn that zombies are able to speak one word. This word is related to the zombies' past or an item that they see. Soon we end up in a cemetery. Zombies surround the police car. Mindy sees her zombified grandmother and gets out of the car, being swallowed up by the mass of zombies. Here we get a scene between Cliff and Ronnie that breaks the fourth wall, as Ronnie says he knew it would end badly because he read the script ahead of time. UFOs make a brief appearance hovering above the cemetery. Cliff and Ronnie leave the car to battle the undead but are quickly overwhelmed. This movie is not a masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination, but if you like zombie movies and have a couple hours to spare, track this one down and hit the play button. I hope you liked today's video. This one isn't a ranking video or even a deep dive, just an overview of some must-watch zombie movies. I love horror movies, and the zombie genre is one of my favorites. Let me know in the comments if you agree with these movies being must-watch. Also, which are your favorites? Which zombie movies would you like to see a video on? Until next time, hit that subscribe button and check out my other content.